It was just another day at Crestwood Enterprises, one of the leading tech companies in Silicon Valley. The office buzzed with energy as employees prepared for the annual corporate pitch competition. There was an air of excitement, with teams putting the final touches on their presentations, hoping to impress their CEO, Richard Turner, a respected figure in the tech industry. But for one employee, this day would become the beginning of the end. Bradley White had been with Crestwood Enterprises for over a decade. He was one of the oldest employees at the company and had slowly built a reputation as someone who knew the ropes. A senior executive in charge of a high-performing team, Bradley had earned a level of respect among his colleagues, respect that he believed put him above others. However, Bradley's respect came with a dark side. His long-standing tenure at the company had given him a sense of entitlement, one that led him to believe that his actions were beyond reproach. Bradley harbored deep racial biases, and over the years, his prejudices had been masked by his position of power. He had made offhand comments to some colleagues, but these were often brushed off as jokes or ignored, as many in the company believed that speaking up against someone as senior as Bradley would be a career risk. And so, his toxic behavior continued. But things were about to change. It started one morning during a team meeting. Jessica Brown, a rising star in the marketing department, was presenting a new project proposal for an upcoming product launch. She had worked tirelessly on the project, meticulously researching, collaborating with various teams, and designing a strategy that she knew would work. But as she outlined her plan, Bradley interrupted her. "That's cute, Jessica," Bradley said dismissively, rolling his eyes as he leaned back in his chair. "But maybe if you spent less time trying to be an influencer and more time focusing on real business strategy, you'd get somewhere." The room fell silent. Jessica, a confident woman with years of experience in marketing, paused and swallowed her frustration. She had grown used to Bradley's comments. It wasn't the first time he'd undermined her work, but today something in her snapped. She had had enough. "Excuse me, Bradley, but I've been with this company for over 5 years," Jessica said, her voice steady but firm. "And I've never been undermined like this before. Maybe it's time for you to listen and actually hear my proposal." Bradley laughed dismissively, clearly taken aback by her boldness. "Oh, please. You think I don't know what works and what doesn't? You're way out of your league here." The rest of the room stayed quiet, unsure how to intervene. Jessica, however, refused to back down. She stood tall and continued presenting her proposal, ignoring Bradley's mockery. The rest of the team watched as Jessica pressed on, her confidence growing with every word. And when the meeting ended, something extraordinary happened. Richard Turner, the CEO, who had been quietly observing from the back of the room, approached her. "You did well, Jessica," Richard said with a smile. "I've seen how hard you've worked. I'm going to make sure your proposal gets the attention it deserves." After that meeting, everything changed. The seeds had been planted. Over the next few weeks, more employees began to take notice of Bradley's increasingly hostile behavior. Several of Jessica's colleagues, many of whom had quietly witnessed Bradley's comments over the years, started to share their experiences with HR. They spoke up about how Bradley had undermined their work, belittled their ideas, and made discriminatory remarks that no one had dared confront until now. Jessica, encouraged by the support of her coworkers, took the lead in formally reporting Bradley's behavior. The decision was not easy. She knew that making a complaint about a senior executive could have consequences for her career. But as she thought about the impact Bradley's behavior was having on the office, she realized that if she didn't stand up now, it would only get worse. Richard Turner had always been a leader who prided himself on maintaining a company culture that valued respect, diversity, and hard work. When HR presented him with the complaints, he was appalled. He knew that Bradley's behavior had been toxic for some time, but the realization that it had been affecting employees in such a harmful way hit him hard. The investigation was swift. Richard's office reached out to every team member who had witnessed Bradley's actions, gathering detailed accounts of his behavior. As the evidence mounted, it became clear that Bradley had crossed a line, both personally and professionally. The following week, Bradley was called into Richard Turner's office. He had no idea what was coming. "Bradley, I've received a number of complaints about your behavior," Richard began, his voice calm but resolute. "This isn't something I take lightly." Bradley, who had been accustomed to his power and influence, felt a cold rush of fear. "I don't know what you're talking about," he said, trying to deflect. "I'm just doing my job. Maybe they're just taking things the wrong way." Richard's eyes narrowed. "It's been made clear that your behavior has been inappropriate, especially toward several of our employees. Your actions are not in line with the values we uphold here at Crestwood Enterprises." Bradley's jaw tightened as the gravity of the situation set in. "You can't be serious. I've been here for over a decade. I've worked hard for this company." "I'm aware of your tenure," Richard said, his tone unwavering. "But tenure doesn't give you the right to belittle and discriminate against your colleagues. We will not tolerate this kind of behavior at Crestwood. Effective immediately, you are being placed on probation, and we are suspending you from all leadership responsibilities." Bradley's face went pale. He tried to argue, but Richard was firm. "The decision is final. We will also be reviewing your future here at the company. We expect every member of our team to work in a respectful and inclusive environment. I suggest you reflect on your actions." Within days, Bradley's reputation was tarnished. Word spread throughout the office about what had happened, and employees who had once been afraid to speak out now felt empowered. They had witnessed the consequences of racism, discrimination, and workplace harassment being met with accountability, and it was a powerful moment for the company as a whole. For Jessica, the impact was immediate. Her proposal, which had been ignored for so long, was approved, and she was given the green light to move forward with her project. She was given more responsibility and the respect she deserved for the hard work she had put in. Her courage had sparked a change, not just for her, but for everyone at the company. As for Bradley, he was soon removed from his position. He was offered a severance package, but it was clear that his time at Crestwood was over. His legacy at the company was forever tarnished by his actions, and he would never regain the trust of his colleagues. What happened to Bradley was a lesson in accountability. No one was untouchable, no matter how long they had been in their position, no matter how many connections they had. Darius's courage to speak up, combined with Richard's swift action, proved that there was no place for discrimination at Crestwood Enterprises. The firm had set a powerful example for the industry, showing that the voice of one employee could spark real change. And as for Jessica, she had not only proven her worth to the company, but she had helped to shift the culture of the organization for good. Her bravery in the face of adversity had not only earned her success, it had changed the course of her career and the lives of those around her. If Jessica's story inspired you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more incredible stories of justice, strength, and standing up for what's right. Your courage and resilience matter.